Please, Connor. I was wrong about you. Please, don't do this. You should have realized that sooner before you decided to abandon me. And without another glance back, I walked to my limo, leaving her to her doom. Pause. Okay, let's step back a little. Hi, my name is Connor, and I grew up with, well, nothing. My family was never fortunate to begin with. After my mom gave birth to me and left my dad for a rich old guy, I guess it made sense. But this only meant it was harder on my dad. He worked as an accountant for a small finance firm, and most of his income went towards baby formula and other necessities for me, while I spent most of my childhood helping with housework and playing outside a lot. As a result, I wasn't a great student, but my dad still showered me with love, and I was lucky to have such a caring dad, even though we were stuck in a cycle of poverty. Ha-ha! Goal! Yes!
Whoa, you got me there, son! You're a budding professional!
Then I started going to school. At first, I made a lot of friends due to my cheery personality I inherited from my dad. But I avoided inviting them over to my house because I was embarrassed by how poor we were. Especially when their places were large, spacious, and comfortable, unlike mine. More than anything, I was embarrassed to show my life of poverty to Grace, a girl in our friend group whom I developed a raging crush on since first grade. Eventually, in middle school, my friends and I started going out more and more often to different places now that we were older. And because of that, well, one day, my secret was revealed.
Wait, what do you mean you can't go to the movies tonight?
I don't have enough money. What? Not even for a movie ticket? No. That's kind of lame. I felt terrible for the rest of the month. They kept going out to fun places like arcades, amusement parks, and sports games, all which I couldn't afford to go to. So I decided to finally invite them to my home, because I felt that if they saw what type of life I lived, they would understand. So in 8th grade, I decided to invite my friends over to my house that I've kept hidden for so long. And here's my house. My dad is out at work, so we have the whole... But when I turned to look at them, all of their expressions had changed. Horror, disgust, revulsion. Never had I thought I'd ever see my friends make those faces. Especially at me. You live here? Ew! Your house is so... ugly! Is this why you wear, like, rags every week to school? I've been noticing that.
No wonder you can't afford to hang out with us anymore.
I was stunned speechless. I'd spent practically my entire life with them, so I truly believed they would accept me no matter what. They left immediately after that to go shopping, and only Grace seems like she wanted to say something to me. But I was already running inside my house, wiping away tears. And this started a vicious cycle for the rest of middle school. I would meet new friends, but they would all abandon me after finding out how poor I was. I was so embarrassed when their faces scrunched seeing my homemade card, the only gifts I could give them at their birthday parties. Girls rejected my confessions because I didn't give them expensive flowers or jewelry. When high school started, I applied for my first credit card, as it was easier to borrow money for emergencies and pay it off later after my dad got his next paycheck, especially because he developed back problems and needed painkillers. I also began skipping class and buying just a few nice clothes so my poverty and I could stay unnoticed in class. It wasn't easy having to buy living necessities, my dad's medicine, and risking purchasing more than we had. So I had grown so hopeless and devastated about my life in poverty. Until one day in 10th grade. School had just dismissed for the day, and I was walking to my bus when someone tapped me on the shoulder. Hey, Connor. Grace, I said, my eyes lighting up. This was amazing. This was the first time she talked to me since that day in 8th grade, and I was so happy to see her, because she was the only one who hadn't said something so awful to me. On top of that, She had grown even prettier and was the smartest person in the school, and I fell instantly back in love with her. She was talking to me. She remembered me. Me! Yeah, hi. It's been a while, but I've been thinking for a long time, but, do you perhaps want to go on a date with me? I couldn't believe it. This had to be a joke. It just had to be. But I didn't want it to be. So I shrieked, "Yes! Yes, I do want to go on a date with you!" I just knew she was different from my other fake friends. I knew she had a heart of gold. So I pulled her to my favorite thrift store, calling out arrogantly to all of my classmates for the first time since middle school, "I'm going out with Grace!" As I ran to the store, I remembered everything I learned about my previous failed confessions. She would want flowers and a necklace. Maybe. I led her directly to the clearance aisle, my eyes searching for something suitable for her. Okay, not this. Oh, not that. Oh, this looks nice. Oh, wait. It's a bit too much. Aha! I pulled up a bouquet of faux colorful flowers, thinking about how it looks so nice with her hair. Then, I chose a sparkly necklace, and I was overjoyed to see an affordable price, even though it was so dazzling. We then entered the checkout line, and I couldn't stop fidgeting in excitement. Connor, don't worry, Grace. I'll make you feel like the most beautiful girl in the world. When it was my turn, I didn't hesitate to whip out my card and hand it to the cashier. I normally didn't use it for anything other than for necessities, but Grace was a necessity. A band of classmates had followed us to the store, peering in the window to watch my grand confession, and I wanted them to watch. I was made fun of for being helpless and poor, and although I was still in poverty, I wasn't helpless. It was time to show everyone how manly I could be, and I felt the happiest I felt in years. Sorry, sir, but your card was declined. My heart stopped. What? What do you mean? I demanded desperately, but the cashier only shook her head, handing my card back to me. It's rejected. You don't have enough funds. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Now this had to be a joke. My mind was reeling, trying to figure out what was happening. How could I not have enough funds? I didn't use my card that often at all. And that was when I remembered. I had purchased a new bottle of painkillers for my dad at the drugstore yesterday, an added cost I normally didn't consider on an average week. That was why I couldn't purchase Grace's gift. I turned to Grace, panicking and sweating. Grace, I'll get you something else. Forget it, Connor, she snapped, her face clouding over in anger. I thought you had changed after these years, and I wanted to give you a chance, but you're still the same pathetic, poor loser from 8th grade. This date is over. I can't believe you made me a fool in front of everyone. Then she grabbed the flowers and necklace, flinging them onto the floor of the store before storming out. And all I could do was watch, unable to speak, and humiliated beyond belief. To say that I was heartbroken was an understatement. All of my classmates outside the window were pointing, whispering, laughing, and jeering at me. Wow, Connor got utterly destroyed! A loser indeed. Can't even buy fake flowers and a plastic necklace. Now we all know who we shouldn't hang out with. My hands clenched together, my teeth gritted. Okay, that was it. This was the breaking point for me. I was done being poor. When I walked out from the thrift store, I ignored all of the pointed fingers and name-calling. A new puddle of rage had built inside my core, and I desired one thing over everything else in the world. Revenge. Over the next few weeks, I stopped caring about who saw me or who laughed at me. They began sending pictures and videos of my failed confession to Grace all around the school, and everybody, including Grace, posted mean comments making fun of me every day. But I ignored them. I sold my nicer clothes and began wearing cheap, tattered clothes from the same thrift store, and I began attending school every single day. For the first time, I took my studies seriously, and I went to school only to learn and not to pine for friends. There were no friends here, only enemies. I stopped playing outside every night and instead invested that time watching videos and learning more about my school subjects. And then, in 11th grade, I applied to my first job. It was a small, open position at a warehouse packaging orders and counting profits, but the role was given to me due to my surprising skill at math. I saved every penny at that job, despite how grueling, tedious, and soul-crushing it was. The hours were so long that I often worked from hours before sunrise to hours after sunset on the weekends. And I took no lunch breaks. But I made sure never to skip a day of class, even if it meant I got no sleep the night before. My dad was worried, of course, but I assured him I enjoyed it, even though it was a lie.
Take it easy, son. You're gonna burn yourself out at this rate.
Really, Dad, it's nothing. I want to earn money for us. I want to prove to the whole world that we're not worthless. Finally, in my senior year of high school, my desire for revenge was irrepressible. It started small at first. By this time, I had earned enough money that I could purchase a small camcorder. Then I left it in the school's computer lab, where I knew my former friends would sneak in and spend the afternoon after school playing games on them. This is so funny. I can't believe they don't change these passwords. Right? But this isn't as funny as seeing Connor in his rags. Seriously, why does he keep going here? People will start to think he's just a homeless guy trying to fit in. Then, the next morning, I took the camcorder and submitted it to the principal, claiming I left it there to record the sunset to sunrise as part of a science project, but totally hadn't realized what else I had got. Appalled at what he saw, the principal suspended all of my former friends that same day. But it didn't stop there. High school graduation arrived, and by then, I had gotten top test scores in class. I had even surpassed Grace, but no one knew except for my teachers, who were so impressed that they told the principal about me. And he even offered a hefty scholarship to any college in the state. Everybody was congratulating Grace for being top of the class, but her and everyone else's faces when I walked up to the podium to give my valedictorian speech almost made me erupt in laughter.